Recording live from the Capri Camper's mobile podcast studio and community development center. This is the Small Truck Campers podcast, where we aim to build community, share inspiration, and encourage others. We've got a lot of great things to cover on this episode, so why don't you grab your favorite campfire beverage and let's hit the road. Hey guys, welcome to episode 40 of the Small Truck Campers podcast. I'm so thrilled to be bringing this episode, and we'll get to that here in 1 second. But before we get into that conversation, I do want to give a quick shout out to the supporters of this community that make this podcast possible. First up is Afuera Coffee. Do good, go Afuera. Single origin coffee, organic, Rainforest Alliance certified, and they give 5% back of all sales, not even profits or revenues. They give 5% back of all sales to a charity that is out there protecting the environment. And I had a hard time. I went to the grocery store recently. I could not find a coffee that met all of this criteria, but Afuera Coffee, they are doing just that. This is delicious coffee, and what a better way to start your adventures than with a nice cup of Afuera coffee. Like I said, Rainforest Alliance certified, single origin, from farms in El Salvador. This stuff is delicious. If you want to treat yourself to a nice cup of joe in the morning, check out Afuera Coffee. I'll link them below, and you can use code SmallTruckCampers to get 10% off your next purchase from Afuera Coffee. They're a small company, and we love to support them because they support us. Next up is Torquelift International. Torquelift makes the best camper accessory products. They make the best way to tie down your camper to your truck using their frame-mounted tie-downs. They make scissor steps to get in and out of the camper, and they make a lot more accessories. Their most recent product is called the Apex Anchors, and when you have like a camper like a four-wheel, you usually have to drill into your truck bed and attach these eye bolts that have a steel plate backing. Well, Torquelift took that idea and made eye bolts that essentially pop down when you're not using them, and they're flush with the truck bed. Then when you want to use them, you pop them up and they're attached to the frame. And aside from being made in America, having great customer service, and making the best products out there, they are looking for people to help evaluate this latest product, the Apex Anchors. So if you're interested and you want to get involved and be a product evaluator for Torquelift, shoot them an email, marketing@torquelift.com, and you want to make that to Jasmine, Jasmyne. Send her an email saying you're interested, show her your setup with your camper and your truck bed, see if you can get on that evaluator program. They want to hook you guys up with some Apex Anchors and in return get some feedback from out in the community. But like I say, great customer service. And if you're looking for the best way to attach your truck camper to your truck, I'd go with Torquelift International. Do it right once. Don't drill a billion holes in your truck bed like I did. So check out Torquelift International, link below. Shoot them an email, marketing@torquelift.com. And if you're interested in that program, they are looking for ambassadors. And I want to hook up the community first because they're hooking us up. Lastly, and you'll hear a lot about Capri Campers with this podcast, but Capri Campers, thank you guys so much. I'm recording the mobile podcast studio right now. It is awesome. I love this camper. It's beautiful. It inspires. And you'll hear Chase Rice's journey about how he got into Capri and why they're the best looking campers out there. So if you're interested in Capri, you want to learn more, check out episode 24 where I interview the owners of Capri Camper. And if you hop on the YouTube channel, you'll see a video walkthrough I did of their tour of how they're exactly made. Really great stuff made in the heart of Texas by an awesome group of small people. They're putting out some really good product. It's built to last, so check them out. And with the thank yous out of the way, let's get to this awesome conversation, tripping on two-tone trucks with Chase Rice. All right, so we got Chase Rice here calling in from Nashville, Tennessee. Chase, welcome to the Small Truck Campers podcast. Super stoked to have you here. You've lived quite the life with Survivor, country music, NASCAR, UNC football, traveling in an Airstream. We got a lot to touch on. So thanks for making time to chat today.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So let's just start with a little bit about you, where you grew up and kind of what got you into the outdoors and kind of a little bit about your life, early stages there.
Yeah, man. I'll be quick on that because that's, I get asked that type of stuff all the time.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, let's get on from this. It's just simple, man. It's Daytona Beach, Florida. I lived there till I was about 11. North Carolina from 11 to 18. I was in the mountains there in Asheville, North Carolina. And we grew up in the outdoors. So it was like in Florida, we horse farmed in both places, North Carolina and Florida. And, it was outside, no video games, and then what really got me into the camping life was my grandpa. I'd go on his motorhome. I don't know, 2 weeks, me and my brothers would go with 2 weeks with my grandparents. They lived in Texas, but they'd come to Florida to pick us up. and we start cruising around. So I lived with them in their motorhome for 2 weeks every summer. Now I look forward to that, you know, more than anything every year for whatever reason. I just fell in love with it. Got to be with grandma and grandpa and got to travel and see the country. So that was really, and it's funny now. It's looking back, I get offered all the time, like to stay at people's houses, which is actually why I switched from the Airstream this year to the Capri Camper. I'll get to more of that in a little bit, but all the time. And people are just like, no, we got an extra room. Like, man, I just need the shower. Especially this year with the Capri, I don't have one. So it's like, I just need the shower and I'm good to go. I got all my stuff in there. I got all my stuff in my tour bus when I'm on the road. I don't stay in hotels. But my grandpa and grandma, they would always, same thing. We'd always have a room, but they would stay in their camper. And now I understand why, because they got their stuff in there. That's their life. At least for those 2-3 weeks, whatever long they were traveling. So, but yeah, it was all outdoors for us, man. No video games, get outside, go play. That was my life growing up. And that stuck. I'm on my farm in Tennessee right now. I got a little week. Not really. I got about a 4-day break here from the camper. It's a nice little reset for me though. Get home. Obviously the house is big. It's spacious. I got showers. I got running water. I got everything I need in here. So when I come back and live this life for even a couple of days, I'm like, damn, this is easy. So yeah, living in that camper this summer so far, I've only been in it 2 or 3 weeks. And it's a Capri right out of Texas. I drove down my truck to pick it up and put it on there. The first night was heaven. I stopped in a little place. Might have been Great Falls, Oklahoma, something Oklahoma, but it was 65 degrees. Parked right next to this little Hawk in the back of a truck, which is the other ones I was looking at. So it was cool to compare them. But the Capri's sick. I don't have to set up or anything, but I stopped there and I was in heaven. I loved it. Wasn't organized yet. I had all my stuff in my truck and moved it into the Capri. And then you got me?
I got you. You get a notification?
Yeah. Let me get off the do not disturb. We got it going now.
Right.
The second night, that's when it all came crashing down. Yeah. You're tired. I'd driven 13 hours that day. And nothing was organized yet. The camper shifting. It just takes a while once you get in something new, especially. It's so different than the Airstream. My world was crumbling. I'm ready to call mom and call it quits, go home. But man, it's really, really been awesome since that second night. I finally got it organized. Your bungee cords are essential. Having stuff cinched down is essential. Put stuff on the bed while you're traveling is essential. So once you learn how to live in whatever space it is, it's been really, really fun. So that's long and short of it. My whole life, I've lived on a ranch, a motorhome, getting into music. I lived in the tour bus and then I got into the Airstream, 5 years ago, I'd say. And now I'm in a even smaller, the Capri camper out of my truck, but I'm very mobile and that's the way I live my life. I'm always on the go. And, as if tour isn't enough, I do it to myself when I'm in my leisure time too. So, but I love it. The main reason I started doing it years ago was to get out of the heat and asphalt. I'm not a humidity guy. I guess growing up in Florida, I just hate humidity. And playing football at Carolina there, summer training was awful. Back then I was a little more used to it, I guess, and young and didn't care a whole lot about that, but now I do. So I love the West. I always end up traveling June or July to the Bitterroot Valley in Montana, and that's where I base, and then I cruise around from there.
That's a pretty awesome story, and also just once you get used to kind of living in small spaces, it is somewhat easier to like transition. You already have the cooler, you know what clothes you need, and it's kind of a skill I'm sure you've used in a lot of situations, but it's kind of a nice skill you can use for life, whether it's like traveling on an airplane or like visiting friends for the weekend. It's kind of like a mindset. It's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm used to coming home and repacking a bag, living in the bus, and being on tour. But the Airstream also has it has a big closet.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of stuff to hang, space to hang. But the Capri does not. It doesn't have as much space. It's a truck camper. So it's been what I found was within the first 3 nights I figured it out. The reason I switched from the Capri, the Airstream to the Capri was because duck season rolls around and I'd find that I'd be staying in a lodge with a buddy. I'd be staying in the next lodge 2 nights later at another buddy's ranch. Usually I'm down in Oklahoma. This year I'm starting in Montana or Canada, going down to Montana, the Dakotas, and then working my way to Oklahoma. But there's always a lodge. And uh, also because November rolls around and it's freezing. So the Airstream, I'd have to winterize. I don't have it heated in the bays or anything like that. I don't even know if that's a possibility. If it is, I need to look into that. But it's just, I wasn't using the shower, had to winterize it, and I wasn't using it as much as I wanted. And it's a huge trailer that I'm pulling behind me. So this year I can go wherever I want. No running water. The only running water I got is a little Dometic under the sink or under the sink in there. And I can run that a little bit, but it's just for cleaning dishes. And I got a little outdoor shower if I need that to clean more dishes or spray the dog off or rinse the boots or do whatever. Take a shower. So man, it's been really awesome learning how to live out of that thing. The point of that was I got my little just suitcase. I got a little roller suitcase in my backpack. I use the Yeti stuff because it's just made for that type of thing. And I just, even right now, I'm doing laundry right now. Today is my off day to finally get my house in order and my laundry and life together the last 3 weeks. And, you do the laundry. I didn't even hang stuff back up in my room. I rolled it up. It's going back in the suitcase and I live out of the suitcase. That's my closet. Cause I'm taking that in to go use somebody's shower, sleeping in their bed. If they have one, maybe, most of the time lately, I've been turning them down because I love sleeping in the Capri. It's a nice bed. It's comfortable. It's cool at night. No AC. I have it, but I haven't been using it because out in Montana right now, it's 65 degrees at night. So it's really nice. It's, you said it a minute ago, when you learn how to live in a small space like that, it's, kind of just makes everything in life easier.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I've lived, at least. Like you said, no time to hang up stuff, just wash it, roll it back up in the suitcase, and away you go. So
Yeah. Are you in a Capri right now? It
I
looks
am.
like
I'm
it.
in the Cowboy. It's the non-cab over version, and it's on a short bed F-250. A little old. I sent you some photos of it, and that's kind of how we
Yeah.
connected a little bit. Was over some two-tone trucks,
Ah,
which was
yeah.
I think it was right when you released that new song. So there it is, man. If you guys are listening, he's got a cool sticker for his new song, Two Tone Trippin', about tripping out on two-tone trucks, the old school, the good stuff.
Yeah, it's on that sticker is my 72 seat Chevy C30. I bought that at Barrett Jackson, way too buzzed up on vodka. Um, and I had a limit that I was going to go to. I went way
Of
past
course.
that. And now I got a sick truck in my garage. So we actually wrote two-tone tripping in Colorado. And, there's just so many two-tone trucks around there, just old, mostly old, like the one you have. And, yeah, I was just like, man, this must be where two-tone trucks go to die. And so we wrote that song, and it's probably one of my favorite songs off the next record. The next record's incredible just because we wrote it all in Colorado, had the ideas of what we wanted to write, and it was just one of the best for retreats. But two-tone tripping is what I'm doing right now. I got in the truck I'm in out west, I've got a brand new F-350.
That's the
That was
6.7 that we were looking at.
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
6.7. It does really well. Learning there, I got to get airbags on it. I thought the 350 would hold the weight of the Capri. It does, but it sags a little, so I'll get airbags at the end of this season, and it'll be even better, more ready to roll next year. But man, two-ton trucks in the garage right now. All I've got right now, saying all I got 2 trucks in the garage, which is sick. But one's an '85 Chevy K10. And the 72 Chevy C30. Those are my everyday drivers till February at the end of duck season. So we'll pray those trucks hold up because my F-350 is out in Montana.
And how do you like driving those as dailies? Would you like prefer a I don't know, something easier that just is comfier to drive and has like Bluetooth? And a lot of our followers enjoy older trucks because of the simplicity and like you can fix them, etc. I'm just Curious your
Yeah.
take.
Around here, around town, I love it. The C30 is tough. I wouldn't want to drive that one have it as the only everyday driver just because it's real close to the steering wheel. I'm 6'3", and the seats are hard as hell. That's just a 70 truck. But the 85 K10 is amazing. That was my everyday driver for about 3 years, back when I first started in music. And so I'm used to that one being my everyday here in town. Not when I have my new truck, but that doesn't bother me at all because that thing sits low. The truck doesn't sit low, but the seat sits low. It's comfortable, soft. It beats you up a lot more than a new truck, but that's what they are, man.
Totally.
It's old it's old square body, and it's awesome. Gets around town real easy. It's actually way smaller than my F-350.
Yeah,
So it gets around.
bet. Well, how did you hear about Capri? First of all, like obviously you had the Airstream. You grew up kind of motorhoming with your grandparents, so you had some sense of like life on the road. But what turned you on to Capri specifically? Just kind of curious. All
Instagram.
right.
Got on Explore page and I was just checking stuff out. I was looking at the Hawks. Went on their website, came across the Capri campers, and I just ended up looking through it. I noticed Bingham's in one, Rocker Steiner, all the rodeo
Yep.
people are in them. That's kind of their bread and butter, and that's Bingham came from that world, so that makes sense. But I don't know that there's any country music singers other than me and Ryan that are in them. There might be, and I just don't know it. But man, I just came across it on Instagram. They texted me, said, we'd love to get you on a camper. I said, absolutely. I texted Tyson there. I just gave him a number and we started texting about building one. And originally I was going to build no kitchen at all because I just eat out all the time. Don't worry about that. And then luckily I did a big shroom trip talking about mushrooms. And after that journey that I took, which was gnarly and awesome, I started cooking my own food nonstop. I didn't want to have anything unhealthy in my body. I just want to cook. Like today I went to Whole Foods and bought some steaks, bought some fruit, and that's pretty much all I eat. Nuts, vegetables, fruits, and steak and chicken sometimes. But it's just Whole Foods. That's the goal for me. And luckily I made that change before I built the Capri because now I got a little space in there. I've got a little stovetop thing that I bought off of Amazon. Put a little cast iron on there, and that's how I make my steaks in the morning. That's how I make my steaks in the evening. And then I'll eat out sometimes. But man, I got real lucky putting that little mini kitchen in there. But yeah, we just built it. The left side of the kitchen is it's got a wall hanger. It's called a chute, CHUTE. Just hold your waders, hold your boots. That's for duck season. To the right of that, I got a little gun rack that it holds my shotguns for the year. I thought it was magnetic. Same when I had my tour bus, not magnetic, apparently. I'm going to try to switch that out at some point this year because those guns fell fast. So now I just put my bow and both my shotguns, which I don't even need yet. I just got them out there because I don't want to have a gun case that I'd have to fly with later once duck season starts. So they just got the guns in there. And yeah, I just throw everything pretty much that will fall on the bed, which is what I used to do with the Airstream anyway. So I was used to that. I take it off, set up, takes about less than 5 minutes to set my stuff up. And that'll get even better because I'll figure out a way with a bungee cord to keep the guns on there somehow. And got those little Yeti Go boxes that fit perfectly in their spaces and they organize stuff. You learn. A lot of people use gear, and I was one of those people for a long time that would buy something just because I thought it was cool. Now you can't do that in this thing. You got to buy something because you really need it. Those Yeti Go boxes work really well. I wanted a Yeti cooler in there. What I found through the Airstream years, I never ended up using them out on the road because I got fridges. So it's fun to figure it out.
It's fun to figure it out. It's fun to kind of like brainstorm different ways you can figure it out. And then it's fun. Yeah, once you have it figured out and you're hitting the road in it, it's super cool.
Yeah. And don't hit bumps hard and figure that one out. The strap system on the Capri, you know about it. It's when it's new, when it yanks and shifts around, those straps have to tighten
Yep.
up. Um, so I hit one real hard where it shifted. I got about 7 inches on one side and 9 inches on the other, but it moved a
Stretched
good
a
bit.
little.
Um, yep, I'll get it right.
That's awesome, man. So you went down to Bluffdale, you picked it up, and sounds like it's been a great escape pod for you. And is the plan, and you might have mentioned this earlier, is to kind of live out of it when you're on the road performing, or is it strictly like a duck hunting escape pod?
It's going to be both for a little bit of the summer because luckily right now we're going up to Wisconsin this week in the tour buses. But our last show's in Nebraska, Wisconsin, somewhere else, and then Nebraska. And then as soon as I get done with Nebraska, I'm going to end up hopping on a plane going to Kalispell. So I'm going to go to Kalispell next Sunday, get back in the trailer. I'm going to go down to the Big Sky and just hang out for a little while. It's a big festival up there. And that I'll be in that for about 2 or 3 weeks, in and out of that with the tour bus. But I'm going to be bouncing, in that some, not just living on the bus. I'll be driving during the day sometimes around Oregon because the tour bus goes after Nebraska out to like Oregon. We have shows. Idaho, we have a show.
I was looking at it's like all like West
in,
Mississippi, looks like eventually
yeah,
California.
it's all north. Yeah, it's
Yep.
all northwest. So that'll be really helpful for me to be able to cruise around still in my Capri, couple nights, hop on the bus. But I don't want my truck to get too far from the bus because by the end of that run, there will be some things from the bus that I want to transfer over to it to really start getting ready for elk season. Because elk season's really what I built it. Duck season's what I built it for. But elk season, I'll be able to live in that thing and middle of nowhere, Montana, near Billings, but way out. And that's me, the truck, and the elk in the mountain. That's it. So it'll be nice to have that bus though for the next few weeks, just to get showers and stuff like that
Yeah,
when
it's
I'm
like
on tour.
it's like you're sleeping in the truck, and then you have the hotel following you for like those extra nights where you need like a little boost or shower,
Yeah,
bigger bed, whatever.
yeah. And that's usually not the case. That's just I'm lucky that we're touring out northwest
Got it.
while it's there.
So I just want to back up a little bit because um, just judging by your biography and stuff, I think a big theme that I've detected from you is kind of like go for it. Whether it was like football at UNC or Survivor, a stint at NASCAR, uh, music career. But can we talk about, I'm a Survivor fan, just like the process of how that played out, and did that kind of like where did the inspiration come to really focus on music?
Uh, Survivor just happenstance. I knew a girl that needed the country guy for the show, and she texted me 15 years ago and said, "Would you want to do it?" And that was it. I was like, doing NASCAR, I love the job, but knew I wanted to do music. I knew I wanted to move to Nashville, and I felt like Survivor gave me the chance to move to Nashville. Not in the sense I really tried to avoid the sense of, oh, go on reality TV, play your guitar, and then move to Nashville. All of a sudden, you're famous and you're the next big star. I never believed in that. I don't even respect that game plan. My thought process was, this gives me a way out to quit my job at NASCAR, which I wasn't enjoying, which was right up my alley. I was getting good at it, but I just wanted to do music. I wanted to move to Nashville and write songs so bad. Didn't have enough money to do that. So I was like, all right, well, this gives me a way out from the job that I've got, and it gives me potentially $1 million. I fell short of that by one vote, but when I got done with Survivor, very cool experience. Wouldn't do it again just because that's not where I'm at in life. And it wasn't an enjoyable game for me. It was an enjoyable experience because I love being outside and figuring out how to live like that. But the mind games and all that people do they're better at that than me. I wasn't very good at that. So when I moved there, I got back and had $100,000, and that's when I moved to Nashville. And that kind of hurt me when I moved to Nashville, because then you are the reality TV guy that tries to come in and try to grab that spot that everybody's going for as far as writing songs or being the next artist. And there's people there that have been grinding for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're the reality TV guy that comes in. So I had to fight that for a while. But that made me focus on writing trying to write better songs, and it took me a long time to figure out how to write good songs. I had some here and there. My first, even through the successful years at the beginning of my career, it was the quality of those songs doesn't touch the quality of the songs I'm writing right now. So took me till about 2020. From 2010 to 2020, 10 years to figure out who I was as a man, as a songwriter, and as an artist. And that's why you've seen such a significant change in my writing the last 4 or 5 years. One, living out west in Montana every summer. You're looking at different stuff. You're not partying as much. Two, because um, that's just where I'm at in life. I'm not a 21-year-old kid and a 25-year-old kid anymore. I'm closing in on 40, and I'm living there and enjoying that part of my life because can't go back and can't go forward. Might as well live here.
I love that. That's perfect. A lot of people like see people on YouTube or Instagram that have like a million followers, or instant success is kind of the vibe, overnight virality. But you put the time in Nashville for 10 years before you said you started getting some traction. So what what like kept you going? Why didn't you say I quit, or like why didn't you move back, or like I don't know.
Well, it wasn't before I got success. I had success
Yeah.
fast. And that can also be that was a blessing for sure. Allowed me to stay in town. But people always say, "Man, that got you to where you are today." Somewhat, but it also where I am today isn't necessarily where I want to be. You got about 3 years once you're the new artist to really pop. You better pop, or you're gonna be grinding the rest of your career. It seems like. And I didn't pop. It was Ready, Set, Roll. I wrote Cruise by Florida Georgia Line. Ready, Set, Roll was mine. Gonna Want It Tonight was mine. And then the label fell apart that I was with, Stoney. And the new people weren't into what I was doing or didn't like my record deal or whatever it was. Doesn't matter. I wasn't their guy. So from 2015 to 2025 has been an absolute grind because I had 2 hits. Then in a lot of people's minds, probably went away. But we kept touring, we kept figuring it out. I kept grinding, and that got me to 2020. And then obviously that year happened like it did. And that year significantly changed my songwriting. And it didn't take me 10 years to have success. It took me 10 years to figure out what's good and figure out what I'm good at. And that's where I'm at now. It's just continuing to figure that out and continuing to, and really stop chasing trends. It's a very trendy world that we live in, which is fine. If people want to chase that, go ahead. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't affect me. It's like, do your thing. But for me, that's not what I'm good at. If it's a trend going on, I'm not going to say I'll steer away from it, but I'm going to focus harder on what am I good at and what makes me me. Because that's what people want at the end of the day. They want you. If they're buying into a couple songs here and there, which is what happened to me early in my career, that's not sustainable. If they're buying into you, that's sustainable. So that's what happened in 2020 for me, was just the realization of that, and really honing in on what I'm good at and what makes me me. And for me, the process was different. It was writing the tracks and making more poppy, clean stuff in the beginning of my career. That's not me at all. But when you get to know me, you're like, what the fuck? This guy's way different than his music. And now it's not the case. You can listen to my music. It's like, oh, that's the same dude. And the process was write him on a guitar. Just take a guitar, take some friends, and that's how I'm writing my songs. And that's how we're recording them. It's a lot more me. It's a lot less pop. It's a lot less easy. It's not easy. It's not something you typically hear on the radio, but it creates a completely different fan than the fans that listen to radio. But, if you're only listening to radio and you're one of those fans, you're probably not going to love my music, and that's fine. We'll go get the people who don't listen to the radio. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with radio. I listened to that stuff growing up, but it's a different world we live in now, and you can hear music so many different ways. So, that's not what I'm making, and I'm cool with that.
That's great. I feel like as you kind of progress in whatever it is you're doing, you get these like little moments of like little lily pads that you can jump to, and like find like little hits of success that kind of keep you on that road. But in doing so, you're hopping in these lily pads and kind of looking back and being like, all right, how can I get to the next lily pad, or like, what do I have to do? And like you said, it's really just a refinement of like boiling down like what are you good at, like what makes you special, versus trying to jump on the trend wagon and like ride the virality wave. And of all the people I've interviewed on this
Yeah.
podcast, that's like a common theme is kind of like go your own way. Like if there's no trail, make your own. And people do buy into like the person, not really the trend. And it's super cool to hear that coming from you, especially with your new music and just connecting to like who you are as a person versus like, oh, I think people might want to hear this. I'll do this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even so, a lot of people, a lot of my buddies are like, "Oh, you're trying to do the McConaughey thing." It's like, well, I
With
mean,
with the
that's
Airstream.
cool.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And the Airstream, I don't know what the hell got me into that, but I listened to the McConaughey book second or third year
The
that I
green
was
light.
living in the Airstream. I think, yeah, that's when his book came out. I'd already been doing it for 2 or 3 years, but then I listened to that book. I was like, holy shit, I'm living this. But the part about it was I didn't do it because of him. I'd been doing it for 2 or 3 years. It's really cool to hear the similarities of what he's gone through, and he's freaking awesome, man. He just tells the truth like it is. But even that's like you gotta also be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like, am I doing this because McConaughey did it? Like, bro, you've been doing it for 3 years and you just heard his book. No. So you just gotta take a fine tooth comb and go through your life and go through your decision making and figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're blazing a trail just to blaze a
Yeah.
trail, that's also pointless. Like, blaze a trail because that's where you want to go and you want to enjoy the ride while it's happening. And now I'm on a new journey with this Capri. And it's freaking cool, man. It's a whole different ball game not having that much space, but it also frees you up to go see a lot
Yeah,
more.
and I've always found like just trailering things, it stresses me out like towing, and B, you're restricted in like roads and like where you can pull off the road. Because when I'm driving, I like to see a weird little town. Oh, pull off and go to like the weird little building where
Mhm.
there's like one parking spot. And in the brief time I was towing a trailer, that kind of plan is out the window unless you're super comfortable towing. Um, and just being able to hop in the
Yeah,
truck camper and like literally pull off wherever you want, and you could post up there for an hour, a day, a week. It doesn't matter. It's a different. It's more like a spontaneous, adventurous lifestyle. I think. I think.
absolutely. That town in Oklahoma where I slept the first night, I had no plans
Yep.
of where I was stopping. But I pulled in, finally saw lights, like town lights. It wasn't a city. Um, like, all right, this is looking better for me to just. I didn't want to pull off on the side of the road and stop at where I was. And pull in. There's a little town square. There's nobody in the town. I mean, it's probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I pull off to the side. I'm like, perfect. Like, I'm parking in this town square. And then I just happened to get on my Apple Maps, and point 0.1 miles was Wild Bill's RV park. And so I just pulled down, looked at Wild Bill's RV park, and that's where the Hawk was. Everywhere was pretty much full except for right next to the Hawk. There's one spot. So I just parked up, and that's where my first night was, at Wild Bill's RV park. And that wouldn't have happened in the Airstream. There was not enough space there. So it's a lot more maneuverable in that thing. I've really, really been enjoying it.
Was it a wild night at Wild Bill's? Was anything about it wild?
No, nothing was wild. They had fake grass putt course. I hadn't seen a golf ball in 15 years. Um, and then it was just me and the man next to me in the Hawk. The next morning we shared coffee and he showed me his Hawk and how the roof comes up and all that, the side entrance. And I showed him the Capri and we went on our way. And funny enough, I passed him in Denver, pass, Hawk, wave,
Man, that's
have a good one.
awesome. That's so funny. Do people like recognize you often out, and especially when you're like on the road in your truck or in the Airstream? Is that like something you have to deal with, or is that like just kind of day to day life?
No, that's more day to day life. I have not had anything happen in the Capri yet, and I've posted it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you know what that truck looks like. Um, but in the Airstream one time, I was traveling somewhere to Whitefish, Montana. Can't remember. I was in West Glacier, and this was 2 years ago. West Glacier, traveled all the way to Whitefish. 30 miles or whatever it was. And I get out of the Airstream, parked there in a library parking lot in Whitefish. And this lady across the way is blasting Ready, Set, Roll, which is one of my early songs. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Okay. And then she gets out and stares at me. And I'm just like, okay. Walks up to me and she was like, hey, I'm whatever her name was. And I followed you all the way from West Glacier. I knew that was you. I'm like, first of all, how'd you know there's Airstream everywhere? How'd you know that one was mine? Second of all, that's weird that you followed me from West Glacier. That's the only thing and she just wanted a picture and signed a vinyl and went on my way. So it wasn't anything weird, but yeah, that was strange that she followed me that far, but so far in the
Yeah, it's
Capri, I'm
still
good to go.
pretty new, but just curious, like how how that I don't know lifestyle is, and if you have to ever deal with it. But it sounds like she was totally chill, so no issues there.
Yeah, I mean, like Wallen, he's a good buddy of mine, and
Yep.
Morgan, and he's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's got to deal with it. I'm not quite at that level. Now walking through airports and stuff like that, yeah, you get it every now and then, but overall, I can live my life the way that I want to live it, and I'm a introverted guy. Like I don't want to talk about me all the time because I talk about me for work. Now this is enjoyable talking about my new adventures in this Capri. It's fun. Like in 10 years, I'm not going to want to talk about this because it's gonna be old news. But it's a new adventure for me, so I'm having a blast talking and telling people stories and just the stuff I'm getting into. Wild Bill's RV park right there in Oklahoma. Stopped in Amarillo, Texas at a buddy's hunting camp. I didn't know him. I had a friend connect us, and he said, you should stop by. It was 2 miles off the highway. So I stopped and needed to let the dog out anyway and take a break. So I stopped. We sat there in 2 chairs, watched the sun go down in Amarillo, Texas, smoking cigars. And that's a guy that I'll end up being friends with now. I'm going to go hunt with him later this season, and just a great dude, lives there with his family and stuff like that. It's stuff that happens along the way for me. I'm like, this is God saying you're right where you need to be right now. And that's part of the adventure, and
Totally.
that's what I
love
enjoy.
those, like the lily pad thing, just getting to somewhere and getting those like signs of the universe that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with who you're supposed to be doing it with, and just keep going. It's
Yep,
really really cool. What what are some adventures you're looking forward to
absolutely.
in the rig? I mean, obviously we talked about your upcoming trip out to Oregon and the Pacific Northwest, but is there anything you're kind of like dreaming about, just hopping in the camper and going to?
No, I'd like to
Yeah,
get back down to Big Sur some point. I did that in a 1970
dude,
Volkswagen van with my college roommate 10 plus years ago. We did
that's
from San
epic.
Diego to San Francisco. We lived in that van for 8 or 9 days, and man, it was something I will never forget. And he's still one of my best friends to this day. And man, it was just so much fun. And I remember
Dude, that's my
Fernwood Resort.
favorite spot to camp down
It's
there.
somewhere right, dude. It's so I didn't know. Now it's a big spot. Like I've had other people hit me like, "Hey, have you ever been to Fernwood?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I got a bumper sticker on my Yeti from that place." Um, and it wasn't hard to get in, and it was prime time camping time. I just don't think it was that big back then. Um, but I still got pictures of that Volkswagen right by the river. We were living in a van down by the river, and it was with my best buddy, and we were just having the time of our lives, man. We got into stuff that we did not plan on getting into, and it was just a blast. So I'd love to go back down to Fernwood and put this new Capri down in the woods. I'd like to go see the bigger
The redwoods,
trees.
yeah.
What are they called?
We got
Redwoods. Yeah, we didn't see much of those. We kind of cruised right through, except for that one night in Fernwood at Fernwood. And I'd like to go back down there. I don't know if I'll get that south this year, but Oregon. I did the Oregon coast last year with Jack, my dog. So that was a blast. I've done West Glacier a bunch. So there's a lot of places. I want to hit small towns, like you said. I want to hit the small towns that you don't know about. Like I toured in my Airstream 2 years ago, a whole weekend through Ohio, Indiana, and Yellow Springs, Ohio. If you've never been
never heard
there,
of it.
check it out. It's
Okay.
where Dave Chappelle's from. And it's just a cool town. So small towns like that just you'd never think of going to see. Somebody suggested. So I would have never done that in the tour bus. We would have gotten the bus, gone home, and I woke up in Nashville. Instead, that Sunday we woke up. I just hit a power pole, ripped my awning off.
Yeah.
That was an expensive one. That was trusting. I was backing up down a road. There wasn't anything. And I was just trusting the two guys going like this. And not one of them said a word. And all of a sudden I heard something. I was like, what the fuck? Got out. And the guy on that side sitting there like, oh, I didn't see that, man. I was so fucking mad at him. But I learned that day, don't trust nobody. Get out and check yourself.
Totally. They were probably watching the wheels, not like looking up. And
yeah.
I've done the same thing. I've taken corners too sharp, and this not this camper, another camper totally scrapes a power line or scrapes something or a car parked. I'm like, oh, dude, no.
Yeah, I actually got that fixed in Montana 2 years ago. Got it fixed the year it happened, because that was the beginning of the season when I did it. But guy in Montana fixed it up, a lot of money, replaced it. Kept my truck in Montana that year for whatever reason. I've only had my old bus driver Carl drive my truck in my Airstream, other than me. I just want to be the one doing it. That year, I was so slammed at the end of hunting season, I had to go to Australia or Canada, and I think Canada. He goes out, I fly him out to Montana to pick it up to get my rig home because I couldn't do it. And he gets from Montana to my driveway in Nashville, Tennessee, goes over the bridge and clips the exact same spot, rips the awning off, same freaking thing, all the way to, 2,000 plus miles that he'd done. And he did it again. So I found somebody else in Ohio that could fix it. They fixed it a different way. So you can tell now that it's been a little fixed up, but paid for it again and did it again. So got to be careful.
Got to be careful. Got to double check. Do you still have the Airstream, or did you sell it? Or
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely undercover. I've used it 3 or 4 times this year.
Yeah.
On a tour bus with gas and driver per weekend, it's going to cost you $2,000 to $4,000. That's just, and that's on top of what you already paid for the bus for the year. So there's been 3 or 4 things this year that I've taken the NASCAR race in Nashville, one tour weekend, I took the Airstream instead. So it saves me $4,000 a weekend every time I use it. So it's nice to have that thing. And I don't get to use as much as I want this year, because of the Capri, but I'll still use it a decent amount.
That's crazy about the cost of all that stuff. That's something I think no one really thinks about when they hear about, music stars or whatever. Just, they're just rolling up in their buses, all the logistics and stuff.
Yeah, you're paying a couple $100,000 a year for the bus to lease it. You're paying per driver and fuel a few grand every weekend, upwards of $5,000, depending on how far you're going. But if you're just using it around here, it's going to still cost you $2,000 to $4,000. So I take the Airstream.
Got to do it. Plus, it's cooler, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way cooler, man.
You mentioned Big Sur in the VW, and growing up in high school, I had a VW bus, and I think something that's just so cool about the VW culture is like where you getting do you remember like getting the peace sign, driving that thing? It's like hopping in a time capsule, man. There's something about it. They're just such cool little rigs.
And we did the coast of California, which was it has a vibe about it where any given moment you can be thrown back into the 70s. And it was really, really cool. It's something I'll never forget.
Yeah. And Big Sur, man, that's where I live. I'm about an hour and a half north of Big Sur. And part of the reason we wanted to settle here is just to have access to that coastline and hop down there for a weekend or even for the day. It's just, man, it's something special about it. I don't know if it's the energy or the location or kind of just a mix of everything, but
Are you near
cool.
Slow?
I'm north. I'm in Santa Cruz, so it goes Slow, Big Sur.
I got you. South.
Monterey, Santa Cruz, San Francisco.
We stopped in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz Guitars. I have one, and I stopped and met the guy that started Santa Cruz Guitars on that trip. And we did stop in Slow as well. We stayed one night at the Madonna Inn.
Oh, I've always wanted to stay there.
Oh, it was nasty. We just needed showers and we needed to probably sleeping. And my buddy slept on the floor that night. I'm like, bro, we were hammered.
Yeah.
And we went out that night, and we ended up in the Crazy Daisies room, which is all pink flowers. It's all pink wallpaper and stuff, and two dudes. It was just funny as hell, man. But
full Dumb and Dumber moment.
Full Dumb and Dumber moment. And I had a shirt that I love, Tots. We got it the night before at whatever bar that was, and we had a night. It was fun.
Nice. Yeah, I always drive past it on my way down south, and I'm like, dude, I wonder who actually stays there. I want to, but I don't know if I ever will.
I did. It's kind of worth it.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to take the family down there. I just want to give a few rapid fire questions, kind of wrap up our conversation, but these are questions I haven't, you don't know about them. So I don't know. I think it'll be cool to see what you answer.
Perfect.
What does a perfect day look like for you?
Oh man. Shit. I'd want to be in the Northwest. I'd want that cool air. I've lived a lot of really good days. But it'd probably be either elk hunting or duck hunting. The reason I love duck hunting, because you do it with people. You elk hunt, you're typically by yourself or with one other person. So I'd love to be living in that Capri this year. I'm sure I'll live it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
But it'd really be the 2 days. It'd be the drive in, get to camp, meet up with your buddies, drink some Coors Banquet, go to bed, get excited for the next morning, wake up, get a however many man limit you get on the duck, have my dog Jack. Oh, where the hell he is? That's a problem. Get my dog Jack to retrieve all them birds, probably kill a banded bird, because that's a rare deal.
Okay.
It'd be really cool to hunt till about 3 or 4. A full day sit, just because you get to get out there. It's the ducks die down. You get to talking with your buddy you sit next to you. Then you get back to camp. There's a fire going. That's when you can start cracking the more Coors Banquets or whiskey or whatever you're into. I'd love for college football to be on the TV and talk about the day you had, and then do it again the next day.
I think that's a very shared perfect day. Just insert whatever activity. Yeah. But definitely the anticipation, loading up, driving out the dirt road, and then whether it's surfing, snowboarding, kayaking, hunting, fishing, with some buddies, some good coffee in the morning, play all day, a couple beers at night, some music or some sports or whatever. Freaking paradise, heaven.
That'd be pretty good, as long as my dog's there. I don't really like duck hunting without my dog.
Is he trained? Can he like get the ducks?
Oh yeah, he's very, very well trained. He's a real good duck dog.
Yeah. What kind of I saw a photo of your dog, but what kind of dog you got?
I have a black lab.
Oh, perfect. Loves the water.
Oh, he's right by the door. Oh, he's obsessed with the water.
That's epic.
That's him right there. Hey, buddy, you want to go outside? Oh, he's excited now. Oh, I'll be out there in a minute.
Perfect. That's awesome. What let's go for the next question here. What's your favorite or least favorite song to perform live or just in a bar or just whatever?
Least favorite?
Least favorite or favorite? I'll let you pick.
I'm gonna go with my favorite right now is Oklahoma.
Okay.
I wrote it as a duck hunt. Yeah, after a duck hunting trip I took 3 years ago, and man, we jammed pretty hard at the end of that thing. It's a 8-minute song because we did that in the studio, and we just have fun at the end. The story's cool because I remember living it, and yeah, and we have fun for about 3.5 minutes, just us and guitars and jamming out.
That sounds awesome. We talked about your dream or not vacation, but your dream adventure, duck hunting up in the Pacific Northwest. But do you have any dream venues you haven't played yet that you want to play?
Fenway Park in Boston.
All right.
One of my favorite place to play, if I only had one show left, it would be, well, if I only had one show left that I haven't played, it'd be Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, which is where I went to school in Carolina.
Yep.
Play the football stadium where my football career ended. Boston would be one, the Fenway Park. And the number one place that I have played is, it's called the Gorge in Washington State.
Beautiful. Such a cool venue.
Love that. And then Red Rocks would be two.
Yeah. Those are perfect venues. And quick side question: do you ever want to play like small little like honky tonk stages, like when you're driving in cross country? Or
yeah. We still play some small spots, and especially in towns that we haven't really been. Or we played a kind of a honky tonk in Great Falls, Montana last week, which was an incredible show. Not a honky tonk, but it was a smaller venue.
Yeah.
So we still play some of those. There's some small towns. I know there's a place in it's called something Saloon in Emigrant, Montana.
Wow.
I'd really like to play that place. But yeah, there's some small dives across the country that I'm sure we'll do at some point. Just me and a guitar, hop up and just go have some fun.
Exactly. Yeah, that's super cool. And then last question, what's the either most underrated country song of all time or most underrated country star? Maybe not of all time, but just what do you think is an underrated country song or country music performer? Who doesn't get enough credit?
John Prine.
John Prine?
Yeah. I didn't even know about John Prine growing up. He wasn't a guy that anybody put me onto. But John Prine is a guy that I was introduced to, I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. Absolutely fell in love with his music. Lake Marie is probably my favorite Prine song. Funny enough.
There it is. Love it.
But let's go with Lake Marie, John Prine.
All right. I'll give that one a listen.
That's a good one.
Awesome. And then lastly, this isn't a question, but people, can they stay up to date following your Instagram? What's the best way for people to kind of follow along on your adventures, either in the Capri or on stage or just at home?
Instagram, and I do TikTok as well now.
Okay.
I don't know what trends are happening. I don't do any of that, but that's just the way I try to just show my life as it is, as it's happening. So that's the easiest way, the TikTok and Instagram.
Perfect. Well, I'll link below to all that stuff, and obviously your website. Maybe people can come check you out if you're playing in their city. I know I'll be on the lookout. And Chase Rice, thank you so much for taking time to chat about campers, trucks, hunting, and everything else. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, we get to your area. I'd love to come on to a show. I'd love to host you.
I would be thrilled. I'll bring the two-tone truck and we can trip out about it.
Hell yeah. Sounds good, man. Great talking to you, Spencer.
Awesome. You too, Chase. Thanks so much. And if you can just stay on. So podcast is over, cut, whatever. I'll keep recording it just for a second in case anything magical comes about. But thanks so much, man, for taking the time. I don't know if you get a lot of inquiries or not, but I'm a small fish right now. So you saying yes to this, like, made my, whatever I'm doing, it just kind of is that next lily pad. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dude, that's, like I said, this is an easy conversation for me because I'm living it right now. So I'm really enjoying it. It was fun talking about all that.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of not get too much on the music, but just like the trucks and the camping and kind of all that stuff, which is what it's about. So
yeah.
Thanks a ton, man. I'll talk to, I think, Janet. I want to send you a couple things from our store that I think you might dig for your adventures. And I think you're playing out here end of September, but I'll just reach out to either you or one of your PR people and just see if we can link up next time you're somewhere in California.
Perfect. That's easy, man. Yeah, I'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And you can see a show and we can have some fun.
Dude, that would be epic. Yeah, my wife would love it, and my son would love it.
Bring
too.
the two-tone, bring the Capri.
Yeah. You'll hear the 7.3 diesel before you see it, that's for sure.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Sweet, man. We'll have a great rest of your day. This will go live in about 2 weeks. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Super cool to talk to you. Super easy to talk to. And great recording. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Spencer. Appreciate you, man.
All right, Chase. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, brother.
You too. Later.
Peace.